Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi LiveNoding. In this episode, we're gonna continue our explorations of Sverchok inside Blender 2.8 beta. So everything is still kind of beta and work in progress, including Sverchok. But there's one thing that's really cool with Blender 2.8 is that, let's say you have like a donut, right, like a torus, and this is manually being generated. We're gonna use nodes later, but for now let's try this mirror modifier. Where is it? Mirror. Okay, you might notice there's new options here. You are actually, instead of just using axis, you can also use bisect. So currently it doesn't look like anything at the moment because it's a donut and it's in the center, but if you move it to the side and try to do it again, okay, there is nothing because you kind of because I just move it to the left. I should have done it in edit mode. So if I go to edit mode and then kind of move it around, you might start to see something interesting happening. Okay, this is basically a bisect and the bisect option in mirror mode. So it's really, really powerful. Okay, I just did something pretty strange. But yeah, you need to edit the thing in you need to edit the object or the mesh in edit mode, and then it will react with the bisect. And this is really, really interesting actually. And I would like to try doing this using Sverchok and kind of procedurally generate some interesting design or whatever you call it, because this is like a mirroring of 3D mesh in real time. Instead of just like a normal mirror, this one is actually doing bisect, and you can actually flip, kind of like inverting the bisect. It's very, very interesting. So let's delete everything. File save as sv donut bisect. It's more like mirroring actually. So let's create a new panel. I'll just go to the corner here. If you are new to Blender 2.8, that's how you do it. Sverchok nodes, new, create a donut, and bmesh viewer. Just see, if you try to click on this guy, sometimes you don't get to the dots. So click on the name instead, or somewhere here. Okay, we have donuts, right? But the difference about this donut is that we have this control for the donuts. At any time, you can change the thickness and whatnot. Let's try this. So we have our donut. I will be using the mirror once again. Try the bisect thing. Let's see if it's if this is working. If you're thinking you're gonna use the matrix, that's actually not the right way, because this is kind of like moving the objects. So use the apply matrices, and this should be doing what we want. This is kind of like doing it in edit mode and applying it on the fly. It's really, really powerful. So look at the mirror. We are currently doing it in x-axis. So x, and then look at this wheel. So it is correct with the axis. Save it again. I like to save a lot, just in case it crashes. This is still like beta anyway. And you can do scaling, whatever, but for now just keep the scaling as it is. You can do the thickness. Rotation is a cool part. Let's apply like random rotation, and then angle can be 180. So we're starting to get something that's a little bit more interesting, a little bit. And then try to flip it in all axes. Of course, with the mirror modifier, there's also these options to use a mirror objects. So that's also actually really useful if you have this an empty or null, and then you kind of use the empty and then use it as another method to do the mirroring. That's also really interesting. You can animate it. This looks really cool, especially if you kind of giving like a matcap and it's doing it in real time. Okay, but Sverchok B-Mesh by default it's doing it in flat mode. You want to smooth it as well. And okay, now it's looking good. Let's use a frame, pipe it into the seed. Let's see how it's changing each time. So let's get rid of the empty. Let's get back to this, and we get kind of like an abstract looking result very easily. So let's see, you can get like endless pattern. Well, in this case, it's just like a donut, and then you kind of predict it. You can predict the look, but every now and then you get interesting shapes. You know, you want to try something that's a little bit crazier, try using maybe metaballs or the Torus node. Currently, this one doesn't work much. I mean, you can kind of trick it to work, but let's try this first with the donut. Okay. But of course, you don't stop here. You can use like a multiple mirror and maybe you get an interesting result. And we still have, we deleted, I deleted the empty. Let's use the empty. You see, this is like multiple mirroring. I don't know if you call it, is this a design or is this more like abstract random stuff? The mirror is cool. It's mirroring in XYZ, but I'm kind of wondering if we can kind of do it in the more like kaleidoscope way, you know, like doing it in the angle. Maybe that's possible as well. That's pretty cool. See, the design can change many times. This is more kind of like 2 layers of mirror modifiers. You can still control the torus, for example. It's pretty crazy. Let's give this. So this is like really like experimental, because I don't know what's the result's gonna be, but I really kind of encourage you to try this yourself. See, actually, it's like less is more, you know, sometimes. Oh, look at this revolution, phase, and spin. You can spin because this and the twist. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, currently it's like all very symmetrical with the mirror and stuff, but the result actually it's very interesting. If I kind of pick the one I like, okay, maybe I like this. See, this is just like a mirror. I duplicate it and then just apply. Oh, I did it in the reverse. Okay, apply, and you get these objects. And I believe this is pretty clean. If you go to the wireframe, yeah, I think that's pretty clean. Control 2, smooth it. It is pretty clean, you see. It's incredible. And then normally, if I have like an object, I want to center the pivot, right? Command F, center, pivot. Oh, set origin to geometry. Now the pivot is at the center. yeah, I think that's pretty cool looking design there, but you can have all kind of different design. Try this with the Torus, or if you like, you can always change it shift, and then you have this. Try it with the monkey, maybe Suzanne. This. Look at that. Look at that. The monkey head. It's pretty interesting, and it's you might notice everything is really fast with Blender 2.8. It's amazing. Still, I'm just scratching the surface of what possible, but it's got like huge potential. Okay, there's a flip, right? Don't forget there's a way to invert the geometry. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe I think it's like it's really like reading the whole thing like a volume or something. It's pretty insane. Let's see. Once again, I'm kind of always asking, is this like a design or just like what, marking around? It's an art, I guess. Art in progress, because imagine you're able to do this and then you're using like something like a neural network art, or like what do you call it, machine learning, and try to generate really unusual abstract shapes. It's almost like a designed by alien. See, this can be a chair, right, or something. Anyway, that's pretty much it. A quick exploration of BISECT and Mirror Modifier. I'm using Sverchok add-on here. This is still also alpha, but if you're doing it with the nodes, you can see here the nodes almost like acting like a modifier. So you goes inside the mesh and modify the mesh, and then you, on top of that modifier, which is always like a post effects on a mesh, can work on the top. So this one is almost like edit mode, and you're doing it procedurally. So it's really powerful. So thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.